I have the pleasure, I have to introduce, and I'm delighted and pleased to talk with Professor Jerome Depaquit. He's a very world expert on sunflies and leishmania. And we're here in a conference in Mexico City. We have the opportunity about talking about different issues. But I would like Professor Depaquit, if you can introduce and talk a little bit about yourself.
Of course, Eduardo, thank you to give me this opportunity. I'm professor of parasitology in the University of Reims, Champagne-Ardenne. It's a little city in the northeastern of Paris. And curiously, there are no sunfly, or very, very few, and no leishmaniasis, but due to the legacy of my boss, Professor Nicole Léger, I started to study the sunfly, and I think that I'm a sunfly lover.
Right.
I think that daily I'm a happy guy because I think that I never worked during my life.
Right. It's just the enjoyment about.
Yes, it's just an enjoyment because I like research and I like teaching.
Yeah. And the true joy about discovery.
Yes, of course.
Yes.
And I like to study the biodiversity of sunfly as well as their vector role.
And I'd like to ask you about what do you consider the situation about leishmanias or leishmaniasis as a group of diseases in the world? What is your opinion about this situation?
Oh, it's very so many species affecting humans that so different epidemiologic foci that we cannot imagine, and with the passing of the time we know that the things are moving everywhere.
Right.
And now I think there is a very challenging group of leishmania, those belonging to the subgenus Moonbinia, for which the discovery of the epidemiology remains unknown. We don't know if sunfly or biting midges will act as the main vector, probably the biting midges. But there are, I think that now, for me, Southeastern Asia is a kind of El Dorado.
Oh, right.
As well as for the sunfly, as well as for the leishmania that transmit.
Right. And what is your opinion about the actual status on the systematics and taxonomy of the sunflies as a group?
So things have changed a lot according to Galati's classification.
Right.
And we switched to a classification. The old classification was convenient for the physician, for example, because there were only five genera more or less. Flebotomus sergentomia in the old world, Lutzomia, Varileia, and Brumtomia in the new world. Yeah. And finally, only two included the vectors, Flebotomus and Lutzomia. But as you know, a classification has to be the reflect of the evolution of the group, and the group has to be characterized by synapomorphism.
Indeed. Perhaps at some point they used that classification because it was easy to remember just very few names, like some
Yes, probably. It was a practical one.
It was practical, but at the end of the day, every classification has to reveal and reflect how the evolution pattern has been occurring in different groups. So, in that situation with the Latte proposal, what do you think about the classification for the larvae stages? Do we have enough knowledge to include a classification using immature stages?
This is an excellent idea, Eduardo, to focus on the larvae, because, as you know, larval characters are plesiomorphic ones, and it could be very interesting to define the main synapomorphisms to support the most important groups of sandflies. But, as you know, a very few sandflies have been colonized, and most of the knowledge we have regarding the larvae have been obtained from colonies. And on the little bit more than 1,000 sandfly species described to date, to my opinion, only 30 or 40 maybe have been colonized. And I think that key taxa have never been colonized, like Varroelea, Ertigia, Bruntomia probably, Edentomaya for the New World, or Spele Flebotomus, Melonia, Parvidens for the New World, for the Old World. So
That's a very complex situation, though. Nowadays, I think that we need more evidence to create those database on the mature stages, on the adult classification as well. So, what do you think are the main challenges for the taxonomy in the forthcoming years?
I feel that, as you know, you and me are morphologists,
Yes.
but of course we use molecular biology. And I think that the main mistakes of the molecular biology is the bias due to the use of one or two genes only. And I think the future is linked to the new generation sequencing, and the sequencing of whole genomes will be helpful to know the real evolution of the sandflies, the species, the genera, the subgenera, and it will be very interesting to do clocking to know exactly when the groups diverged.
Yes.
So, to my opinion, the future is linked to the new molecular tubes,
Right.
and we have to be helped by young people.
Yes. That's
You are young, but
no,
younger than me.
no, not quite, but yes. And I was just probably that's my second question. So, what will be your recommendation for the young people who want to start the getting involved into the sandfly taxonomy or ecology or anything? So, what would be your advice on that?
My first recommendation, surely, is never forget that sandfly live on the field, and you have to go on the field first.
Yes.
Second, young people like molecular techniques. They're very exciting. But I think the most important is to know the morphology. Because when we will be retired, I'm not sure that a lot of entomologists will know the morphology of the sandfly.
Right.
And when you will obtain sequences and known, how could you be able to do an interpretation of the unknown sequences if you does not the morphology of the sandfly?
Yes, and that's why it's so important to keep the specimens, the holotypes, the partial specimens, and so on. So even after 100 years, so you can always go back to the original specimens and check, verify, modify the descriptions, and so on. So I think that's important. So
It's very important thing to keep in a collection, curated collections, type specimen and more than the type specimens. For example, in my university, we have a biological resource center, and I will move my collection in this resource center, and everybody in the world should ask to arrange a loan of a slide, for example, or maybe in the future also a DNA extract, for example, related link to the slide.
yeah, that would be great, and I hope you have a really good success on creating this collection and the maintenance of the collection, because it always costs money.
It's cost and also it's time consuming.
Indeed, yes. Just to finish off this very informal chat, any topic that you would like to add on this or on any subject relating to the sandflies or the leishmania situation or epidemiology or anything, or by your business?
We are now open to, and we start study. So in the past, I worked on biting midges a little bit with a colleague who now moved to another laboratory. But at that time, we worked on culicoides only because were the vectors of blue tongue viruses.
Nice.
And now, because they should involve the transmission of leishmania, I open my mind to this book and I see in this book with finally other eyes. And I see that, and I imagine that in Asia, maybe the leishmania magnificensis, for example, should be transmitted by both sandfly and culicoides. Maybe, like for example, the virus is transmitted by some Aedes and also my culicoides varensis, which is a mosquito of leishmania. So, of a new transversal approach of the epidemiology will be.
Yes.
I have a lots of respect about your work and your career, and of course for the old traditional about taxonomy with very famous professors like Nicole Leger and some others. So thank you so much for your time and for the amigos laboratorio. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Eduardo. It was a pleasure, and I hope we will collaborate strongly in the future.
Oh, certainly. I will be quite happy and delighted. Thank you so much.
Adios.
Adios.